That's what we're working on today. We got a Strikemaster ice auger. It's a big one. Looks like a big 10-inch. Anyways, this thing has been kicking around a long time. I can see the staining in the fuel tank, so normally I'd throw some gas in there and give it a whirl, but this looks to be beyond that stage. Let's pull this out of here. Whew. If only you guys could smell that. Turpentine or varnish. That's what it smells like. Looks like we got Torx bits all the way around. We're probably going to end up cleaning the carb, but I'm going to tackle this fuel tank first. You never know. Maybe if I purge some fresh fuel around inside there, it might fire up. You never know. Worth a shot anyways. Probably a spacer, no doubt. Yeah, that's what it was. Big spacer. It's aluminum, so I'm not gonna be able to get it. Man, what is going on today? It's gonna be one of them days. Jeez, man. That's what I just drew. Oh, it's plastic. You gotta pick that up with a magnet. That's for sure. Are you kidding me? Seriously? How many of these things have we got? Oh, they're everywhere. They're up top, they're down the bottom. Oh. Okay. We'll drop the spacers. Lesson number one. Okay. Let me go retrieve those. Alright, get you up close and personal. We are gonna get these hoses out of here somehow. Well, that looks like it must be a vent. It's just kind of hanging there. Oh, there's another one. They came out of here. Alrighty. So the line's junk. I just dumped pure oil out of the tank. Come on, baby. Okay, I think I'm gonna leave that in there because that doesn't seem to want to come out. Goes some more oil. Yeah, it's got a real air filter. How about that? Well-built unit. Okay, what do we got? Okay, so that's a squirter. So the top one squirts. This is a vent. The main fuel line. I'm gonna get in there with a screwdriver. Let's see what you guys can see here. See it right up in there. Just gonna get a screwdriver in there and slide that. It's got ribs in it. That fuel line falls right down, goes to that plug. Now you can see this is the vent. There's the other end of it that kind of snapped off, so we're going to put all new fuel lines in here. Except for this, we don't need this. This is in good shape still. Just leave that on there. Yeah, we got a bunch of two-stroke oil. All the gasoline evaporated and left pure two-stroke oil. Ooh, that smells yummy. I wish you guys could smell this. It's a little thinner than it normally is, but everybody's got their own way of flushing fuel tanks. I use acetone just nail polish remover basically. If you got a female in the house, or many females in the house, and you buy it by the gallon, you can get it at beauty supply stores, or you can buy it at a hardware store. I think it's, I don't know if it's any cheaper at a beauty supply store, but that's just where I get it from because it's convenient. Sure. Just gonna put the cap on, give her a shake. Now we can do a little trick, a little siphon trick to see if this thing's blocked. You just blow a little air across the top. It should act like a carburetor. Like this is a carbureted jet, and you get air flying in. It should suck the fuel right out of there. There you go. That is extremely flammable, so don't do that near open flame like I just did. A big fireball. We don't need any of that. So that should have got rid of all the crap. It looks pretty good in there now. There's all these little brown specks in there. I don't know what the hell. I've seen that on a lot of stuff. I don't know if it's some type of fungus bacteria that grows in petroleum products. Who knows? You don't want to go too crazy blowing back because you'll knock the filter off the end. Yeah, that'll work. I can't see the filter down in there. Usually you can on some equipment. You gotta make sure this isn't all twisted up too. There we go. Looks like it's anchored right to the bottom. I'm not gonna pull it out if I don't have to. So I just back flush this thing. Some brake clean. Some nasty stuff coming out of there. Yeah, it's brown. And keep doing that till it clears out. Yeah, that's a little better. I guess I'm gonna go in and clean the carb. Anytime I try to cut corners on something, it comes back to bite me, so might as well just do it. It's been sitting a long time, so I know there's gonna be trash in there. At the very least, it's gonna be pure two-stroke oil residue. Oop, wrong one. This one's one size larger Torx than the fuel tank bolts. So all this line does when you're priming it, it just squirts the unused fuel back into the tank. It just circulates it. There shouldn't be any, you should never have gas peeing out of the intake when you prime it. You still got some crap in there. Oh, all over the GoPro jaws. Perfect. Stale, stinky, oily. We got one more up here. Did not see that. You guys see that? That one is actually a little bit smaller size, but we're gonna go with it. Alright, there we go. We're free. Okay, so now all we got is the, oh, might as well take the little screen out of there. Whoa, she's got some fuzz. Rodent fuzz, I would imagine. Put it down there. Ooh, this thing is stiff. Holy crap. Yeah, we're going to be replacing that. I bet you it'll break right in half when I try to straighten it. I'm surprised it didn't. Wow, is that stiff. Yeah, that's no good. The other end of it's perfect. The end that goes up here, that part's fine. That's that. Okay. I left the hose on the one little nipple of the primer, so I remember where it goes, what it does. Doesn't seem to be any rodents living in there. It's just stuck on there, I would imagine. I see the cable down there. Nothing else holding it on. Wow, that was on there good. Okay, it's one of these style. So all you do with this is just push it, push in, lift. That's it. So you just got a big hole on one side, small hole on, or no hole on the other side, right where my thumb is. And the little nub on the end of the cable, I can't get it any closer to you. That locks in place. So now what we can do now, let me just see what we got going on here. Okay, I'm gonna put the ignition on. Now that we got a wide open shot here, and give it a little blast of brake clean and see if it's got spark. You don't want to go running at two lines of two-stroke, so you don't want it to run. I mean, you have no control with it being wide open like that, so don't go crazy. Yeah, I heard it fire. Whoa. Yeah, you gotta be careful. I think it'll twist your arms off. So we got spark, got compression. I can tell we have compression by the feel of it. It feels really nice. This is, I thought this was a hose. This is just the wire for the kill switch. Kind of a, I don't like the way they just leave these hanging here. I might do something different with that. Whew. Face melter is cooking. And this has got that, I hate this crap. Manufacturers do this. They put these need a special tool. Like back in the past, I used to take a Dremel and cut this whole block off. It's a wicked pain. If you're careful, you can get in there without destroying it. And then once you get this thing off, you can cut a slot in those screws with a Dremel, real thin cookie. Get the thinnest cookie you can get. Put a straight slot in there so you can get it with a flat screwdriver. That's what I used to do. You see there's a little H right there for, that means this is a high-speed circuit. And there should be an L. Yeah, there is. This camera doesn't focus that good, but there's an L right above that brass tube. If you can see. Anyways, that's the low side. That affects starting and idle. So if you got problems on the low side, it's not going to start no matter what you do. Because it's the smallest circuit, the smallest diameter of any of them. So, I guess we'll just start ripping and tearing here. This should be, sometimes those are tight. It's a single bolt. Oh, it's good to have a magnetic screwdriver too. And that little screw right there, that always goes on the throttle side, so that's easy to remember because this is your idle speed. It's just a, oh yeah, see that? All the two-stroke, just pure two-stroke. That, even if I put gas in there, it would have run so rich. It never would have got it running. This is a nice good diaphragm. See how, I don't know if you can kind of tell on the camera, I guess, how flexy it is. If this was hot as a rock, it would never start. So I'm just gonna blast this out with brake clean. Sprayed it a little bit. I'm gonna wipe it with my shirt. That always works better for me. Fingers are a little dirty now. Alright, that's clean. See a little bit of corrosion in there from ethanol in the fuel. The ethanol just soaks up water like a sponge. Any moisture in the air goes right to the alcohol in the fuel. That's why you have all the problems that we have in the Northeast here and everywhere. They're using it everywhere now. The only problem in the Northeast, you can see, is some crap in there. I hope the camera's picking that up is two little pieces of crap. And I just knocked them out of there. So the problem up here is we can't get ethanol free gas at the pump. I know everybody in New York has it pretty easy. New York State. I don't know about the city. The city's a whole nother, you don't have to worry about outdoor power equipment out there. It's probably illegal. And you got no lawns to cut anyways. But anyways, the upstate New York, if you go to Stewart shops or pretty much I won't say every gas station, but a majority of them, their premium fuel is ethanol free, so that's a bonus if you're out in that area. Okay, where were we? So this is a approx kit. I got this a long time ago off the internet. I just want to remove these. They look like fine spline, so I got these all labeled. That's a double D. That's a square D. A single D. Coarse. Hex. It's not any of those. These are the common ones that I use quite a bit. Got Pac-Man. Actually, I don't use that often. This is the one I use the most. Of course, it's the last one I grabbed. Fine. That's what I was looking for. Barely see it, but it's fine. So now another good reason to put marks on your, either there or here, so you can count the number of turns. Actually, this isn't fitting. Oh, so this might be, oh yeah, it's a D shape. It's got that cutout. So that's a single D. There we go. Okay. So I'm gonna have to hold this in a position. We just gotta remember we're on the throttle side. Throttle side up. We're going by the D there. So there's 1, 2 turns, 2 1/4, a little over 2 1/4 there. Now we can remove it. That's that. These are fairly delicate, so you don't want to go putting them on the wire wheel, because you'll come back with a little nub left. Won't be anything left of it. Okay, see where we're at here. These all engage in different spots, which I don't like. So we're gonna have to hold it like this, going by my line there and there. 1, 2, a little less than 2 1/4. So 2 1/4 is the magic number. Get these out of here. Now the way I keep these organized, that's the low, this is the high. I put the low down here so I know it's low. I'll put the high up here so I know it's high. Sometimes they're the same. Sometimes you can't mix them up, but what I've been seeing lately is they make it so you can mix them up. And there might be the slightest little difference, and I almost just knocked over the auger. But there might be the slightest bit of difference, and you're going to be pulling your hair out. If there is a difference, you will be pulling your hair out trying to figure out why it's not running right after you just went through all this trouble of cleaning. So I go up there. Whoop, I missed. Oh, I haven't even taken this thing all the way apart yet. Old Faithful. So this side's the float side. We're gonna take that apart first. I'm getting ahead of myself. I don't like leaving brake cleaning on rubber components any longer than I have to get them clean, you know. I like to try to dry them as quickly as possible. This makes for a longer life of the components. Acetone ain't any worse than the alcohol that they put in the fuel, so you have to be super worried about it. So it looks like that vent hole, it's not a super critical thing. I like to have it aiming down. This sits like this, so it's aiming towards the engine. That's fine. Like on a chainsaw, I want it aiming down so sawdust doesn't get in there. Boy, that thing's on there. Never been removed. Okay. Gonna break out the heavy artillery without breaking anything. Come on. Oh, we're gonna have to go with a little screwdriver. Man, that thing is stuck. I've never seen one that stuck before. You never know what you're gonna run into on these things. Let's see if I can come up with a plan B here. Okay, I'm gonna go with this little Little baby Phillips. Ah, come on. Wow, that thing is way on there. Yeah, there we go. It's a little stiff. We might have to replace this. I don't know if that's going to work. Let me get it off of here and see. It's a lot stiffer than I would like to see, that's for sure. If that, yeah, there's some more green goo. Yeah, you hear that? It shouldn't do that. This should be soft. It shouldn't sound like a juice cap. Crap, that sucks. I was hoping to get this done today. I gotta order parts. Damn, that sucks. I might have one of these kicking around maybe. I think I just used my last one on the last ice auger that I had in here. Damn it. Oh well, to be continued. Oh, we might as well get this all cleaned up first. So here's the high-speed hole. And the low-speed hole. It comes out of the same place. There's a primer. I go through every single hole, whether it's blind or not. I know some of them are screw holes, but I go through them anyways. That way you're sure that you didn't miss anything. So that's that. I'm gonna pull the needle out of there just to clean that. They probably don't have to in a case like this where it's not stuck, but it's one of those things. So I leave it right on the magnet there so you can get it back in. These things can be a pain in the ass. Some really tiny little parts here. So there's the needle, there's the rod, there's a little fulcrum or anchor, whatever you call it, fulcrum. So now that I can get in here, I'm just gonna put the needle right in there and give it a couple blasts. Right in the mouth. Oh, right in the eyes. If at first you don't succeed, do it again. Good enough. Alright, so that's ready. Boy, do I hate leaving little parts like this apart. I'm gonna see if I can next day air one of these things. Damn, that sucks. God, does that make me mad. It's supposed to be an easy carb clean. No parts required. But sometimes that happens. It's just too far gone. Put this little spring and the magnet over here so we don't lose that. It's a low screw. It's a high screw. Give that a little squirt. Squirt and a wipe with the shirt. So there we are. Alrighty. Now to order some parts. Okay, so there's some numbers on this carburetor. If you want to get parts, you can go by the model number of the unit you're working on. Sometimes that doesn't work. You want to go with the numbers off this. I believe this is a Walbro, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it says Walbro there. So yeah, and you got a WT number here on the fuel inlet side. It says what is it, WT688A alpha. So 688 alpha. So it's pretty hard to see on this camera. It was pretty hard for me to see, especially since I just blasted my eyeballs with brake clean, but I can see it. It's probably going to come in a kit, which sucks because I only need this. It's a friggin' 30-cent part, and they're going to charge us $6.99 shipping. That's where they get you. All right, here we are a week later. Took forever. First class mail sucks nowadays. That's the 10 seconds of filming and a battery already takes a crap on me. Gotta love these GoPro cameras. I don't know how anybody manages to get an aviation video out when these are attached to a wingtip going 200 miles an hour at 10,000 feet or higher. I can't even get it to work in a shop that's 30 degrees. Oh yeah, what a difference. Jeez, look how, oh, you guys can't even see. Look at that. Just so nice and flexy. See, now this has a gasket on it. That's why it looks different. But it sounds like a juice cap safety thing. Crazy. You want to take note of which side the gasket goes on, because if you don't have the right spacing, this is critical to fuel delivery. The height of that little pin right there. See it? Now you can see it. That little nub right there on the end, that dictates how much fuel gets into the carburetor. So if it's too short, you're not going to get enough. If it's too long, you're going to get too much. Sure. Try to find a gasket that matches that. Here we go again with the camera. Nothing but trouble. This is totally wrong, but it'll probably fit. Like this one has a little gap in the top. As long as you get a seal around here, that's all that really matters. Yeah, so that's the way that's going to go. So I gotta, getting ahead of myself here. Put this spring back in. Just gotta clean this real quick. A little needle. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm gonna reuse it. If I can only find the spring. This is what people struggle with the most, is this part. You got microscopic parts. So I just kind of assemble everything. So I get the needle and everything hanging in here, and I'll put this in. You want to have the screw in your screwdriver to start with, which I did not do just now. So I'm going to put it down, and it's going to fall apart. So I just did that for nothing. All right. Do as I say, not as I do. Get your screwdriver ready, get that thing in there. Then assemble. Then grab all this. Get your little holding device and the pin. Then the needle. And my spring tipped over, which is fantastic. So I'm going to use the needle to get this back in position. Maybe. Oh boy, this has got bad news written all over it. That failed miserably. So what I try to do is try to get this level, which means putting it like this. Now I got to use the high screw. Okay. There, now I got it straight up. So now you put the whole assembly and tip the spring over and drop the pin. Struggle is real. I'm facing the wrong way. Oh. Now I got my screws mixed up. I don't remember which one was what. Oh, I tell you. You want to put pressure on this because it'll twang and disappear. I usually don't struggle like this. It's because I'm filming. Never fails. And it's 30 degrees. That doesn't help either. I don't have the heat on. I can make all excuses in the world. Okay. And the key is to get that little divot in the lever there right into that spring. And then I'm off camera here. I'm just pushing everything in. There's my screw. Screw fell off the screwdriver, of course. Helps to have a good magnetic bit. Okay. And that is that. Usually the spec on these is flush with the carb body. That little lever right there. basically your float on a conventional carburetor. I'll set this on here. Oop, got it upside down, so you don't put it on that way. So the gasket's got to go on first, because that provides the correct spacing, as you can see on the old one. Gasket is on the disc side. This has two little locking pins. Kind of holds everything in place for you, which is nice. Now if we can remember which way this went. It's not real critical. You just don't want crap getting in there. It's got to breathe either way, so it doesn't matter which way it goes. Technically, best to keep crap out of there. Water, anything else. Man, nothing's working on me today. I'm struggling with everything. Cool. You can kind of tell which way these go just by laying them on there. You can tell that's wrong. So it's going to go this way. See, the shape kind of matches that little curve right there. So now you got all the holes lined up. And the two little flappers always got to be covering some holes. So you always want to make sure get that facing the right way. And then, like I mentioned last time, I think I remember, the screw always faces the throttle actuator, because that's what it presses on. You got to give it a little throttle to get it to set in there good, and then you can let go. That screw in, snug it down, and that is that. Now I got to put the fuel screws in. And then we'll fire this thing up. It's been a week, and I'm going to have to review the footage and remember how many turns it was. I think it was that 2 1/4? Yeah, one was 2 1/4. Yeah, pretty halfway good memory, I guess. We'll get them in there. You got to crank them all the way in and then back them out. What the hell we got going on here? Is this a D? Single D, yes, sir. Doesn't seem to want to go in. There we go. Go all the way in, then count your turns out. That's the low speed, so there's my mark there. 1, 2, we'll go right about there. You got to hear what the engine wants. It might want more fuel, might want less fuel, and it's going to depend on what the temperature is and what your elevation is. Different fuels all over the country. We got probably the crappiest gas outside of California out here. There's 1, 2. We'll go a little bit on that. All right, we're ready. This fuel hose, you can whip somebody with this thing. It's hot as steel. Look at that. Isn't that crazy? Ethanol for you. So this is the fuel line I'll be using. Versalon. I've had good luck with it. They changed the formulation of it. It used to be called Tigathane. And I noticed since they did that, the temperature rating has gone down, which tells me they cheaped out on the additive package on it. But it's still my go-to fuel line. Let's see what we got here. So here's the vent, which needs to be cleaned. Nothing makes the cold worse than brake clean or any kind of solvent. Just trying to get that off without breaking it. So I want to measure it. I suppose I can measure it with it on here. There she goes. Okay, this is a little vent. So this stuff's a little bit thicker what it came with from the factory. See, it's going to have a bigger OD. So it's going to be a struggle to get these into that hole there. I might have to run a drill bit through and make the hole just a hair bigger. But this has superior abrasion resistance. This will probably be the last line that ever goes on this machine. Another note, if you do a lot of hose cutting, making a lot of heater hoses or fuel line and stuff, get yourself some of these, especially if you're doing air, pneumatic stuff, air lines, where you gotta You got those little shark bite fittings that you press on, they're quick connect. You got to get the cut square, dead nut square. These things are just great. There's no fumbling around. You just get a big old hose, you put it in there and cuts it perfect every time. So I'm just gonna hold these together and see where I need to be. Looks like right on the O of Gobain. Where is it? Right about there. Snip, that's it. Nice and easy. And when you do get a pair, cut nothing but hose with it. If you start cutting twist ties and metal, you're going to destroy it, and then it's not going to cut right. You want a nice, beauteous cut like that. You know, makes life a lot easier for you. Okay, so which way? This is the way it goes on the machine. So this top one is where the fuel's coming in. So you want fuel to get pulled out of this into the primer bulb, and then the other side of the primer bulb is going to squirt it back into the tank. So this right here, I don't really like the way that fits. No, so it wasn't fit perfectly on here. That's 1/8 inch ID. I'm going to have to go 3/32, I believe. I should have thought of that before I cut it. Now I got a length that I can't use. Fantastic. So I'll put this back in the box and get the other stuff. I wonder if I got ripped off here. All the markings are smudged. I've never seen that, and it's a lot stiffer than normal. It does have the St. Gobain warning thing in there. You never know what you're getting on a net. So this is what we got now. 3/32 inch ID. Oh, this is LP 1500. That's why. Totally different formulation. LP 1500. I've never used this before. This is my first foray, but this is the only formulation I could find this particular size in. Man, my feet are getting cold. That means it's cold. I don't usually get cold feet in these boots that I have. Should probably make sure it fits before I go cutting. That'd probably be a smart thing to do. Oh yeah, nice and snug. Wow. Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, it's LP 1500. I hate trying something new, but gotta do what you gotta do. It fits right. You know, this is the stuff that's tried and true. This is a lot more flexible. This is formulation C210A. I don't know if you can see that. C210A. Charlie 210 Alpha. Let's match this up to the one I cut already. So we got to cut it right here, pretty much right at the end of the markings. So that'll be easy to remember. So I'll go right here. Snip. Okay, we've got the 2 lines on there. Hopefully they're the right length. Got the vent, so we're ready. Let's go like this. You got it all upside down backwards. You are all screwed up this way. So the fuel screw's got to point down. Make sure we get that facing the right way. I put a little arrow there, that's how I know. Otherwise I would have forgot. I left that old hose on there to remind me which one was what. If you don't get them going the right way, it won't run. These things are hard to work on because you're always balancing them. Oh, you know what else I gotta do? Just let this hang right here for now. I gotta try to get this vent in here. So what I'm gonna do to help this out, because since this is twice the thickness that it should be, I'm just gonna cut this at an angle. Might help it a little bit. I'm gonna have to get on the other side. Yeah, it's 30 degrees even. My toes are getting cold. My hands are getting cold. They're not working. Can't see my breath though. Oh boy. No, that's not gonna work. We're gonna have to drill that out. So I'm just gonna run a drill through one of these holes here. All right, we got company. All kinds of mayhem going on out there. Just had another broken down snowblower delivered. So I drilled that out the best I could, kind of nicked it up a little bit. Actually, I think I got a couple little pieces of crap in here. I'm gonna blow this out real quick. They come out so easy. They never go back in easy. I guess that wasn't too bad. Can't complain. Alrighty, now where's my vent? Where'd you go? Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. Spray a little parts cleaner for lubricant. Doesn't take much. And it evaporates quickly, so you want to kind of hurry up a little bit. Got that little point on the end. Yeah, she's tight. But we got it in. Holy crapper. Yeah, that's a snug fit. That's for sure. Glad I chose the correct size. What did I use? I think it was 5/16 drill bit. Fit perfectly. All right, I'm glad I did that off the machine. So I'll get this back over here. Get our carburetor hooked up again. Black line on the top here. Alrighty. That's the vent. This is gonna sit like this, I believe. Is that right? Nope. Wrong answer. Which way does this go? I seriously forgot which way this went. This goes like this. I just checked. Checked my records. It's just unbelievable how things conspire to make your life miserable. That couldn't have happened in a million years. You guys couldn't see that, but the vent went right where the bolt needed to go, so I couldn't get it in. And I'm juggling everything here, and I can't find the other one. Oh, man, I tell you. Still got to put that one hose in the hole. I'm going to wait till I get this kind of snug down here. A little bit. Oh, man. One fight after another. Batteries are dying. You working now? You working? Yeah, okay. Jeez Louise. GoPro sucks, man. I could have bought 100 different cameras. It would have been better than this thing. What is this thing? Hero. I can't even read it now. It's covered with grease. Hero something. Curious. Oh, I think it's an 8. 7, 8. Who cares? Get this thing done. Yeah, everything's working. Something didn't feel right there, so just making sure. Put some fuel in there. Get this air cleaner back on. Somebody put this on wrong. I thought it stopped recording again. Why can't I get this to turn? Okay. Well, that was easy. Alrighty, we're in the home stretch, I think. So I put these little spaces back in. They fit right inside here perfectly. So I'm just gonna do that. Well, I'm in a little bit of a hurry. I'm cold. I don't want to be out here any longer than I need to be. Boy, I was meant to be born in the Caribbean, I believe. The climate just suits me. Florida, Louisiana, Texas. I can think of a million other places, but here, I was not built for winter. It's gonna be a lot of sniffling, just be advised. Looks like they had a little Loctite on there. So we'll just cross thread them. That's better than Loctite, as they say. Not really. What kind of aircraft is that? Oh, whirlybird. Rotary wing aircraft. I'm gonna have to go look at it. Couldn't tell what that was. It was a big one. Big, expensive one. Nothing on FlightAware, so it was either military or just somebody flying VFR. Little crosswind, they were flying at a crab angle. Yeah, that's my dream, is to have one of them. Helicopter, man, you can go anywhere. Land anywhere. Go over to your buddy's house if he's got a big enough piece of land. Land right in his yard. How awesome would that be? Yeah, I'm in the wrong line of business to be dreaming about stuff like that. Ain't gonna be buying helicopters, working on ice augers. Just don't work that way. I made my bed, I gotta lay in it. So you want to party for the first 35 years of your life, you gotta pay for it. You get mechanical advice and life advice over here at the Smithsonite channel. And that's that. Snug her all down. Shivering. Nose is running. It's way colder outside and the wind's picking up. It's supposed to be 0 tonight into the morning. 0 to below 0. It's not the kind of weather that I enjoy very much. Who does? I don't know if many people enjoy being out weather that cold. I'd rather it be 115 any day of the week than 0. That's just me. That's why I don't ice fish. I do sometimes, but it's not my go-to hobby. I like riding motorcycles. Everything I like doing is warm weather stuff. Boating, motorcycles, aircraft, paramotors in particular. Okay, so we got this thing back together. We gotta put some gas in there and get some ethanol-free premix. I haven't been around ethanol-free fuel in a long time. I just picked up 55 gallons of it this summer. It just smells totally different, completely different. I've kind of forgotten what it used to smell like when I was a kid, but it didn't smell like the stuff you get at the pump today, that's for sure. Yep, got my old school Wedco gas can that I probably bought in '92 or so. Still works. Now they have companies that are making parts for these things, which is great. I was gonna shut the camera off. Maybe some of you youngsters want to see how our old gas cans used to work. Take the little cap, first put the nozzle back in, take the little cap, put the cap there, then you put the big cap on. And you tighten down your vent, all good. And these work, unlike the new stuff. You have to sit there and wait, burping it, waiting for the stupid air bubbles to go down. Let's get this back in here. All the plastic is extremely stiff. Okay. Give her a prime. And that's not a good sign. Oh, there it goes. Thought we just had a failure. I'm at an angle too. There we go. Okay. It's got a compression release. I don't like using them though. That's a choke. You know, it can help. The compression release can help, but I better get these out of here. I better get this out of here. See what we got. Trying to figure out if I got everything square here. Primed it? Yeah, it should be ready. Beauteous. Success. Alrighty. So that's that. Carb clean. I'm freezing. My hands are numb. I'm ready to go in. So anyways, yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. That's pretty much what I do every day, all day. I do more of this stuff than I do cars. Well, actually, lately, since I got this lift in here, I've been doing more car stuff. It goes up and down. Like the last couple of weeks, it's been all small engine stuff. And then I got, this thing came back with another running problem, so I got a carb kit for that. So we'll be putting that in. Anyways, another day in the life. 30 degrees and dropping in here, so I'm gonna get moving. I'm gonna get warmed up. So we'll see you on the next one.